You've got some cool resources online. Do you want to quickly talk to what those are? I know you've got a couple of books for kids and for parents, is that right?
Yep, so when I did back in the day,
Isn't that long?
yeah, so going back to going and working with Megs and her classmates, we did a lot of focus groups around what specific topics was it that they wish that they knew. And then we turned around and put the research behind it. But the biggest thing, though, we got from the young people was like, look, these were 11, 12, 13 students. We know our stuff. Our parents need the help. Yep.
Yeah.
So they were one of the things, and what some of the research some of the topics that we cover in the Orange Book.
So we kind of looked at body image, so kind of how that looks, and then basically digital consent. So even from like taking someone's photo to like posting it on your social media, but like tagging them, are they okay with that?
Yeah.
We looked at online bullying, so how that kind of relates to different age groups as well. And then we also looked into just addiction as well. And then basically just kind of opening up the floor for like asking questions. Yeah.
Cool.
So that's in our podcast.
Yeah, those are the podcast topics that we did as well.
Awesome. So parents can access them.
That's our Webwise Warriors podcast, and then on the resource itself, we talk a little bit like what is real. It's versus, because it's kind of hard now when you got fake news and stuff out there, and we talk about safe passwords, and there's more content in it that I'm sure that we're missing, but you can see.
Yeah.
And then because the students are going, okay, yep, great, we know this. Help our parents, please. We have the Blue Books, which is our Whānau workbooks or Whānau books that just give the parents conversation starters and activities that they can do. Talks about stop, block, and talk. How do you apply stop, block, and talk on all these different potential things that young people might come across, so that when they're online, our young people can feel, and all of us actually can feel, really empowered to know that, hey, we got a tool. We know what we're to do if we come across something that makes us feel uncomfortable or something's just not right. So we know exactly what we need to do. And so that was the genesis of building these resources that we have available for parents and young people. And they're on our website, and they're free for the electronic version. And then they're basically we are selling them at cost of us to print. So we really want to get these resources out as far and wide as possible for the young people. One of the big key messages here is to start early, as early as we can. The moment that the kids start using the device, let's get that safety strategy of stop, block, and talk in. So we know that kids feel empowered if they feel like they're in control. We know we didn't wait till they were almost hit by a bus to teach them how to cross the road safely, thank goodness. And we don't make any assumptions. We don't just assume that our kids should know how to cross the road. We've actively taught them how to cross the road, and it's the same with this. And we know that if we start bringing this in at a young age, it will become something that's automatic for them to do. And stop, block, and talk, we have heard wonderful, wonderful stories from parents and kids about how that's made them feel empowered. So I think that would be my key message from this conversation. Start early. Start talking to your kids.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very important. I think the key message for me, or one that I always speak about, is that communication. It's like that open relationship, just talking to each other. Like how much of a difference that makes to have that connection, and how much like a problem's halved, like when you actually talk to each other about it. So I think that's my biggest takeaway. Like if you're going to take away anything, it's just be involved. Like just be there.
My key message is just to make sure that not all your dopamine comes from online. Making sure you keep that healthy balance of offline dopamine and online dopamine.
Yeah, cool. I think my key takeaway or key message would probably also be a bit of that communication and how valuable that connection is as a parent. And I think that comes with, not just going straight to consequences or punishment for that online thing that was really scary to see, but actually upkeeping that relationship and connection, because that's what's going to ultimately keep your child safe online, as if they can come to you and can feel safe to do that. And also harnessing the online world for good as well, because we do live in that space and we don't just want to feel like everything's horrible, but let's see, okay, what can we do? Can we sit down and watch a movie together? Can we play a really awesome game together, and then go and make dinner, or find those moments that you can be like, hey, this is great if we use it for good.
Yeah, and plus our kids love actually telling us about the stuff that they're doing online, and they love the fact that they're experts in this space and they can show us up.
Yeah.
So, it's giving them, in that way, also gives them some dopamine hits as well, too.
Yeah.
I mean, these two make fun of me all the time.
We're so nice. I don't know what.
That's so true.
Nice.